In-ring action from The Shield, visit from Triple H, and Stephanie McMahon's birthday. All that and more on Frog Splash Live.
And it starts right now.
What's up, WWE Universe? Welcome to Frog Splash Live, the show where real fans review wrestling. In the studio, we have Buddy, a.k.a. David, and I'm your host, Tyler Hendrickson. Let's talk about Raw. So, David, show opens up, limousine pulls up. Who do you think's in it?
I'm gonna say
Real thoughts.
One of the McMahons, okay? It has
You know when you see a limousine,
Triple
you
H.
got a McMahon.
Triple H isn't classy enough for that.
You didn't think it was Vince, huh?
No, not exactly. I would think it would be Stephanie because she's like the big dog there on Raw. No pun intended to Roman Reigns.
Yeah. So Stephanie and Triple H pull up, and who opens the door? None other than the Chancellor. Wait, what do they call him?
The Chancellor.
Do they call him the Chancellor?
No, it's Constable.
Oh, yeah, the Constable, Baron Corbin.
Chancellor Baron.
And she doesn't like his attitude. He's not handling Raw so well.
Chancellor Baron Corbin.
So what do you think about that? What do you think about his role in WWE? And I think my neighbor's nailing something in the background right now.
Baron Corbin in his role as GM of Raw, I do feel like he's abusing the power, putting himself in a title match last week with Roman Reigns, and then changing the stipulations of a match with Finn Balor to benefit him. That's not right. So I agree with Stephanie. He is doing a poor job at his job as Chancellor.
Let's back up a second.
Possible.
So what do you think about the return of the Shield? Since this is our first episode, we haven't gotten into that. What do you think of the Shield? Do you like them individually? Do you like them as the Shield? I know you love Roman.
Yes, me and Roman have a love-hate relationship. I feel like he improved a lot from when I first started watching him, and I feel as though he really came into his own more as a quote-unquote big dog.
I just don't think his character holds up alone.
Yeah, I can understand that. Like, he still has the same entrance music from when they first had the Shield. He needs he can hold his own, but he needs to diverse himself from the other two, from the Shield.
Diversify.
He needs to change himself from the actual Shield.
I always liked his look. He's got the vest on. He seems like a tough guy, but just like in the ring by himself, him on the mic just doesn't do it for me alone. I think Seth does a great job. I think Dean, you notice that now that he's come back, he's a little more quiet, like he doesn't do as much talking.
He really seems like more of a badass, as more of a lunatic.
Right.
You don't know what he's thinking about. You see his new look, his hair, his beard, which is on point, by the way.
The beard is good.
I can't even hate. That is a good beard.
I grew this beard for a year and I'm back. Yeah, I think that him being a little more quiet, I think pulling off that lunatic thing. Lunatics, they don't really talk that much, but when they talk, they say something crazy.
Yeah,
Crazy.
like a lunatic, you don't know what they're doing. They could, before it was kind of predictable what Dean was doing, but
Yeah.
now you don't know. You see those eyes, and you don't know which way
Especially
he's going.
when, the Shield broke up initially and he was doing his own thing, so he has to talk. He doesn't have people to do talking for him. So I think that kind of pulled away from the lunatic thing for me personally. I didn't believe it when he was, having coherent conversations. So I'm happy. I think returning with the Shield, I think he has benefited the most from that.
I agree. And Seth, let's talk about Seth for a minute. We talked about the other two. Now, what do you think of Seth?
I think Seth is, in my view, is the only one who could hold himself up alone. Like, I think he was fine on the mic. I liked his moveset the best.
He's a workhorse.
He is. He's there. I just think that he's great with the Shield and he's great by himself.
I agree.
And the pedigree.
I'm glad he got rid of it, but it was a good pedigree.
Yeah, but that's a hard move to take over. That's like you walking in and taking the RKO or the Stone Cold Stunner.
Yeah.
More like the lukewarm Stunner.
I'm glad he got rid of that knee though, because that knee, they didn't know what to call it. It's a cool move, but it was like, they didn't have a good name for it. When you think of a finisher move, you
Right.
need to have a good name.
And what do you think about Dean's DDT?
It's a good Dirty Deeds DDT, but I like the original Dirty Deeds.
The name is good, but
For all you that's been watching the Dean Ambrose before, when he first started with the Shields, when he did the what's it called? Is it not a hammerlock? It's like a headlock, and then he plants him into the mat.
Yeah.
That was a good move.
right.
It was unique, but the double arm DT, I think he needs to change it up a little bit.
And part of selling a move is like who the person is. Like if skinny ass me did a bear hug, you wouldn't believe that. It would just be like it would be like hugging your mama. But like you know, a bigger dude, like if Big Show hits you with the bear hug, you're like, oh my gosh, he's breaking his ribs, you know? And the DDT is just a tricky move to sell as a finisher, especially since it's just over the years, it's just evolved into like a more of a basic regular move.
But I can understand why he has a DDT, because it is if you think about it, it's an actual damaging move. You drive your opponent's head into the canvas, which hurts. But
It's definitely a brutal type of
you
move.
you look at Alexa Bliss and her finishing move, the DDT. That DDT looks brutal because she just like spikes you, like she doesn't
Yeah.
gives you time to prepare.
Well, that's the thing. Part of it is the sell and the character that ties along into it. And I think it takes a special person to do a DDT. And I think that it fits Dean more now that he seems like more of a lunatic. So anyway, after the little opening scene with the limousine, Triple H, Stephanie's birthday, Corbin, then we get the Shield in the ring. And then Constable, Baron, kind of does this little bit where he's trying to break up the Shield. Classic, like, you know, evolution move. You're trying to crack the Shield. You know, and what did they say about that? He was saying something about, like, you know, I think he used Dean as his, as like the scapegoat. Like, you know, you come back and they have the gold and you have nothing out of this deal. Classic move, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, and who else was out there with him? It was Corbin, and he had to pick teammates for like a match with the Shield later in the evening, which we'll get to. So that was a pretty cool way to open the show. Any more thoughts on that before we move on? It kind of evolved throughout the night, though. Like they had a separate conversation with Seth, so that kind of
I mean, I think
builds throughout the night.
yeah, I think that's a really good way to start the show.
Get people excited, like, oh, you got to stick around for this surprise teammates.
Yeah, and it builds up the main event, which is always good to do.
Yeah, and then, oh yeah, it was Dolph Ziggler and Drew McIntyre. They were and Braun Strowman came out, and they're just what?
I don't like what they're doing with Braun. Braun's a monster. He doesn't need those two. They're holding him back. That's what he needs to get out there, lay lace to everyone, and get that title from Roman.
Yeah, I don't think this is going to be something that lasts. I don't really see these three guys working together much. I think
Yeah.
it might have just been for the night. I mean, did they do anything together in the past, or was this?
I think they were teaming at they were McIntyre and Ziggler were helping Braun at the Hell in a Cell pay-per-view.
I think they needed Braun more than he needed them.
Yeah, my thoughts exactly.
Dolph is just
Dolph is Dolph.
being nice. He's just kind of ripping off the '80s or trying to.
But
80s wrestling.
But Drew McIntyre, that man, I've always been a fan of Drew, even back in 2011 when he was here. He has a good look. He has a good finishing move now.
Sure.
He's just an all-around good performer. And I could see him being a future main event.
Yeah, he's
or
like the
two.
classic, like hot guy chewing the gum. Hey, I'm better than y'all.
He's actually Irish.
Wait, what did
No,
I
Scottish. He's Scottish. Y'all. He did a nice southern accent there.
Yarr. Okay, so then we have Finn Balor versus Jinder Mahal. What did you think about that?
I think it was a good way to promote the Mixed Match Challenge. He came out with Belly.
that was my first
Bayley.
time learning about those mixed match challenges. Those are pretty cool.
Really, this is the second one.
And I think that really drives the whole like building the reputation of women's wrestling.
Oh yeah,
That's
definitely.
a great way to bridge the gap. I think a lot of independent circuits do stuff like this all the time.
Because like even back in WWE before they thought
Oh, they did it every once in a while.
yeah, but like the divas were mainly back then just they're not even divas, they're superstars themselves.
Yeah.
They just thought of being dainty, but these women, they can move, they can work. Let me tell you.
And then I noticed, and I think someone from the announce team brought out that like Alicia Fox was just like, because Alicia Fox was with Jinder and Bailey was with Finn, just to catch up on that, and Sam Singh, is that his name? Singh.
Yeah, same.
Yeah. He's out there, and you can tell they're kind of squabbling, Singh and Alicia, and we'll get to Singh in a minute because it's just a sad little ending for that guy. But Bailey was, doing her classic positive thing, yeah, Finn, which was cool, and they're a good pair. I think. But Alicia was kind of losing her stuff outside the ring. I forget why though.
She's a crazy woman, let me tell you.
She sells it.
Oh yeah.
But what did you think of the actual match? Did you have any thoughts on that? Jinder is just a huge powerhouse over Finn.
Oh yeah, definitely. Especially Ginger since his from like 2015, just his change his body. He got so much more muscle now.
Yeah, I think Jinder always though had this. Just to back up, like probably one of my favorite wrestlers of all time is Triple H because he just had he has the most intense face.
Yeah,
like you want to cringe when you see it because he's just so intense, and I think Jinder really has that too.
Yeah,
he's got this evil looking face. He can just scrunch it up and make you feel like he is the most evil person. He's just got that intense look. But yeah, he's just a huge guy, and he just overpowered Finn throughout the match, I think, for the most part. But Finn has the quickness.
Yeah,
has
it's
the agility.
definitely. Finn handled himself very well against a bigger opponent, and he proves that time and time again with Baron Corbin, other people that he fought, like Braun Strowman.
Right,
he can handle himself. Like he's not a small guy. He can.
Well, he's always been one of my favorites for sure.
Oh yes, definitely. Finn Balor is an amazing performer.
But why do you think he had the championship, got injured, came back, and just never really made it back to the top? Do you have any thoughts on that?
I can see from a fan standpoint that they're maybe not really giving him the time to grow or something like that because
I mean he certainly has he's
came
over with the crowd.
Oh yeah,
they're all doing the the thing from his,
but
yeah.
When he came back, Brock Lesnar was the champion.
Right, and that's we're not going to get into that right now. But, Brock's hard to compete with. Just put it that way.
Yeah.
So that makes sense. There's only so many championships to go around.
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
But I'd like to see Finn get another championship run, and I think he will.
Oh yeah, I like to see him with any title. Finn Balor looks good in gold.
The dust needs to settle from the whole Brock thing. Yeah. But then you got Singh and Alicia flipping out, and Singh runs over to Bailey, and she just hits him with this belly to belly out of nowhere.
The Bailey
Jeez.
to belly.
I wouldn't want to take that. That looks like it hurt for sure. But then when that happened, scoops up Jinder for the win. So
yeah,
so,
1, 2, 3.
Right. And I do like those kind of endings where you just get the quick like schoolboy kind of deal, and then it's over. I think that's like a classic way. And then the winner just runs out. So
but,
Finn had that over him.
Yeah,
and I think that's especially embarrassing when you have a powerhouse. And you can just scoop. They're dominating and they're throwing you around the ring, and then you just scoop them up for a quick pin. Mm-hmm. I think that's a really cool way to end that.
I agree.
Yeah. So then after that, what?
Just when after the fact, Jinder beat up Samuel Singh. Poor guy. Then he goes into.
And I don't know how. It's kind of funny, but like when you're watching wrestling, you basically just see wrestlers who are huge people. Because I'm like 6'1", you're probably around that height. I don't know how tall Singh is, but just compared to
Jinder, man.
Yeah, he just looks so small. I mean, he's probably like a pretty tall guy. I don't know. But yeah, he just looks like a small person being thrown around like a rag doll, and I just felt kind of bad for him.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah, I don't know how big he is, but he just seemed microscopic. And then next, after a commercial break, you have the Riot Squad. And
Can I just say that I love the Riot
Oh,
Squad?
me too. I think everyone
love
everyone
them.
I've talked to at work and everywhere, they're just huge fans of that. And I think that I can't remember a woman's team like that before.
I know they work so well.
They're kind of like Evolution, APA. They work well together. They sell it.
They're all really good individually. I think they all have their unique characters, so to say, that blend really well with each other, and they're all really good friends. And that's the best part about
Yeah,
the team.
it's almost like the same thing that the Beatles did with music. Like you have these four guys who are just, they seem like really good friends, and you want that. You want to have these good friends that you run around town with, and you just have a good time. So you're like envious of them, and they're selling it, and that pairs so well with Ronda Rousey.
Yeah.
Like you have this baby face who just comes into the business.
Gets a title shot.
Right.
Her first match was a
And,
title shot.
and she's really good.
Oh yeah, definitely. Back in our UFC MMA.
Oh,
career.
sure. So
One of the best.
Yeah, and now that you're getting more of that, like MMA kind of people, like you had Ken Shamrock, right? He
Yeah.
did that, but not really too much. But it seems like it's happening where you have these people crossing over in, either to MMA or
Yeah.
or WWE.
And they really know what they're doing. And look at Ronda. Like people thought
Right.
she wasn't going to be good in the ring, but look at her. She's holding her own.
Yeah, I just don't know, like because in MMA you don't really have to do like promos, right? Like you don't have to talk too
I
much.
mean, there's like it's not like
Yeah. It's not. There's not as much weight to that.
Yeah, it's just like building up the match.
Yeah, because when Ronda first broke into WWE,
It was a big thing.
it was a big thing, and everyone was pretty much behind her from the get go. And she was as tough as the guys, kind of thing. Like she was slamming Triple H around.
Oh yeah. But
I wouldn't want to mess with her. I'll tell you that.
oh no, she'll rip your arm out in a heartbeat.
Right. But I don't know if she got this direction or not, but remember how like nervous she seemed on the mic?
Oh yeah, I mean like of course like
It was to the point though where it almost seemed like she got that direction. Like, hey, play the nervous kind of like you're humble, you're happy to be here, but it almost just seemed like she was really nervous.
I can see that. I can agree with that.
And that's gotten better.
Oh yeah, she's becoming more of a natural.
Yeah. But
She
physical ability though, always had that.
Oh yeah, hard worker. Like we said, one of the best that UFC ever saw. She's in the Hall of Fame actually.
Yeah. So we had the Riot Squad.
Taking on Nikki, Bella, Brie Bella,
yeah.
and Natalia.
And was that the first time the Bella Twins were like back in action for a while, or?
I think it was they were back together because I know Brie Bella had a match with Daniel, her husband Daniel Bryan against the Miz and Maurice.
Right.
But
Well, what do you think about the Bella Twins? Just lay it out.
I feel like they work hard. I think
Work hard.
Nikki really, 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 really wants this, and Brie Bella
Yeah.
too. But like, Brie doesn't need this. Like, she has a family. Like, she can do that. But I give her all the credit in the world coming back from like having a child and like
That's hard.
getting back. But she's still a little rusty and everything.
And I think that's one of the underlooked things that people who don't really watch wrestling don't think about. But it's not an easy life to live. Like to have a personal life, but still like traveling around the world multiple times a week.
Yeah,
and then having a physical job on top of that.
The schedule is horrible.
Not that I know from firsthand, but you like as you become more of a dedicated fan, you start to watch behind the scenes stuff.
Oh yeah, definitely. You hear interviews from the people, and most of them say it's the road work is what's killing them.
And that's part of like how you get excited when someone comes back, and you're like, wow, especially when someone comes back from an injury,
Oh yeah,
neck injury. So I do really appreciate what the Bellas do, but they almost seem like they're more of the reality star kind of.
yeah, definitely with their Total Bella, Total
Right.
Divas, and
with
all that.
women's wrestling especially, and I mean, and men's wrestling too. Like you can tell the people who are like just they love the sport and they're there for that, and then the other people who are more of the entertainment side. And that's fine. Like I think you need both. I think you need both of those kinds of styles.
Definitely. But I think it's very good that they paired him with Natalia because Natalia,
Oh, yeah.
she is the original women's workhorse in WWE.
And it's tricky when it's just the Bella Twins in a match because then you have just so much of the charisma, but not like they're good wrestlers, but
I mean,
yeah,
not the technical side.
right. So Natalia was a great fit with them, and she's always been a favorite of mine.
Oh yeah, definitely.
She's someone I would like to see in like mixed matches. I
Oh,
think she
yeah.
would do really well.
She actually is. I forget who she's seen with, but she's in the mixed match
Yeah.
challenge. But
And what pay per view is that at?
it's the thing is just on. I just think they stream it live.
Oh.
That's what they were doing last year.
Oh, that'd be cool to see.
Yeah. And let's talk about the Riot Squad. Like we said earlier, they were good people. They're good. They're good wrestlers, so to say.
Yeah, I don't really know. Maybe you can speak to the history of them a little bit because, as you know, I love NXT, but I don't watch it too much, and I don't really watch SmackDown. I kind of just watch Raw right now, just because it's a lot to watch and there's a lot of
Yeah.
commercials and stuff. But can you speak a little bit to their history a little bit, or at least how they came to be? Were they on an NXT? Or?
Yeah, they were on NXT. Liv Morgan was NXT for a while, but she was doing really good. She became a fan favorite down there.
Were they the Riot Squad at that
No,
point?
they were doing their own thing. I don't really know too much about Sarah Logan, but she is good. I like her character and everything. She's a really good performer.
Yeah.
And Ruby Riott, I actually knew Ruby Riott from the Independents because I used to watch the videos because I saw this one video. I forget who sent it to me. I think it was one of my friends about Ruby Riott before she was Ruby Riott. She is very good.
Yeah. Yeah, you have these people that have such a history, but WWE doesn't really show any of that. They kind of like, you're starting here, basically. Yeah. I mean, you have some people who are just have too much of a history that they can't acknowledge it.
Yeah.
Like AJ Styles.
Yeah, Bobby Roode, AJ Styles.
But generally speaking, they're trying to not erase it, but they're focusing on what they built you into. Yeah. And which makes sense. I mean, it's their brand and you're playing a character. So,
yeah.
But sometimes it is nice to have
like
a little perspective.
with the Riot Squad, like when I watch them, I follow them on social media. When I watch like a story on Instagram, their Instagram stories, like they seem like that's how they really are because they are really close friends.
Right.
Every single one of them.
And it adds to that.
Yeah, I can really appreciate that they're such close friends in real life as they are at their job.
And in the match, the first big moment of it was the what?
The yes kicks, right?
Yeah, that, yeah. And what do you think about that when you're kind of like
What
borrowing from Daniel's brand like that?
I mean,
at the end of the day, she can, she'll do whatever she wants.
yeah, but I just want to talk about like the injury. Like I was seeing some stuff on like the social media for like the Bellas, and they're saying a lot of mean stuff. Like it happens. It's not like something. Not like she did it on purpose.
Yeah, right. True. She's not like telling the fans, "Hey, do this." Chant yes when
Yeah, like it was an accident. What happened to how Liv Morgan got knocked out.
Right.
So like you shouldn't hold it against her like that. But I got to give Liv Morgan credit because
what happened to her? Like, how did she get injured? I missed that.
during the yes kicks,
Yeah.
like Brie kicked her like twice in the face and knocked her out. Like you could see she was done.
Right. Eesh.
But when they went for the pin, I'm surprised she kicked out.
Yeah, because I was taking like notes while cooking, I think, and I was doing a lot of things while that match was happening, and then it just all of a sudden she's out of the match, and I'm like, whoa.
Yeah, because like they wanted to keep her out. Like Ruby Riott and Sarah Logan wanted to keep her out, but when they came back for that suplex spot,
That's what I was going to bring up next. Yeah.
Like she wasn't. She ran back in there on her own will, and like she did it.
Right, and that's the thing. Like you have these people that get injured, but they're supposed to have these spots.
Yeah, and they don't want to stop. They want to finish the match.
Yeah,
that's good work ethic right there.
Yeah, but I would definitely rather have someone take a breather and lack the spot.
Because we found out now that she has a concussion, so
right, and that just gets worse.
It didn't get worse.
But I did like the suplex spot. That was really cool. I'm sure I've definitely seen like maybe two people, but I don't know if I've ever seen like the classic 3-person suplex kind of deal.
Yeah, it's really good.
Yeah, it's like a classic tug of war moment.
And the match ended with the Riot Kick, right? Mm-hmm. I gotta say, I really love the Riot Kick. I really, really love that move.
Yeah. Yeah, it's one of those things where you just don't question that the match is over. Mm-hmm. Sometimes when you see a certain move, you're just like, okay, they can kick out. But there's moves out there that they just sell so well that it's just over.
I love the setup for it. I love how Ruby Riott does it.
I love chocolate.
It's a really good move. It was a good match. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, I think it's just a great step in the direction that they've been heading with women's wrestling and making it, you know, giving everyone a fair shot.
Oh yeah,
Because I remember like
Definitely.
growing up and watching wrestling, 90s. Women were just supposed to be sexy, and that was it. And I just didn't really enjoy that kind of stuff, especially when you're like a younger kid.
Yeah, like you want to see.
Wrestling and
You want to see it. You want to be entertained by it. You don't want to like.
yeah, and it really and growing up with that, it really conditioned me to think that women like couldn't wrestle, which it obviously isn't true. But it's
yeah.
funny how you can create an image just by like how you're pushing people and what you allow them to do. And that must have
Definitely.
been so frustrating for the women who love wrestling and wanted to do that. So
Yeah, I mean, it's women's wrestling really changed, and I really enjoy it. Sometimes I enjoy the women's matches more than I like the men's matches.
yeah. And then after that, you had Connor's Cure, like that part of the show.
I just love what they're doing with all of that.
Yeah,
I really do.
You know, it was awesome when they brought Connor in and created this
Oh man,
awareness
that's
from him.
just the video they had was sad.
Yeah,
It was
but
sad.
the tricky thing about that stuff, about kids dealing with these issues, is that if you're all sad and like, you know, that doesn't make it any better for them going through that. So it's nice that, you know, they brought out the two kids and they gave them like championship belts.
Yeah, like they're trying to make their life happy,
Right.
so they can forget about what they're going through, all the pain. And I really appreciate that. That's
And
what I respect
yeah.
about the WWE a
Sure.
lot.
And you have people like John Cena who have done way more,
Oh yeah,
like I forget what the program is called. Make a Wish.
Yeah,
he's done
Make-A-Wish.
like way more than anyone else. So that's awesome that they're using this platform to raise awareness, and you can donate at ConnorTheCrusher.com, right? So
yeah.
and then they raised like $2.5 million on that, so that's huge. And yeah, like it's definitely sad when you see that, but it's really moving to see that they're using their brand to do something like that,
Definitely.
and using Connor as like the the backbone of all that. So that's really great.
Yeah.
And they're doing the thing with what's the award called? The
Warriors Award.
Warrior. Yeah. So
Oh yeah, I like what they're doing with that too.
that can be such a huge, like that's so huge for a kid to be able to go through that, I'm sure.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's great. And then they brought in that, what was it, BMW or some car company? Oh, it was Hyundai. I remember because I had a Hyundai and I have one. And they did like the handprints on the car. That was pretty cool.
Oh
So,
yeah.
Yeah, I was talking to someone at work about that, and I was like, what was the highlight of the show for you? And I was going to think he was saying like the Shield or something, but he said that. So that's really cool. And it's clearly impactful for, all different kinds of fans. So, and then after that, you had a little backstage banter between Dolph and Dean.
Oh yeah.
See, I think that was really cool. Like they're kind of they planted that seed at the beginning of the show, and then rolled with it. And Dean, I think, is the best person to do that with because, he doesn't have the championship.
Yeah, like you
and,
said, the championship. Like he came back
and I think in general,
hands out.
he hasn't had as much of a push or an individual run as the other two. I mean, he
yeah.
he was a champion. He wasn't.
he was WWE champion on
yeah.
SmackDown.
Yeah, which is cool, but Dolph pushing that. So
Yeah, I like how they're building up to the main event by having these little interactions between the people involved.
right, yeah, that was cool though. So that was a quick little bit, and I just remember thinking that like, Dean could gain so much from this
Definitely.
Shield business. When Randy got screwed by Batista and Triple H, and then he just like skyrocketed from
Or
there.
like when the Shield originally broke up when Seth Rollins betrayed Dean
Yeah.
Ambrose and Roman Reigns' career.
Yeah, how do you
took off.
think this is gonna end? The Shield run?
There's a lot of rumors that Dean's gonna turn heel and attack them, and I can agree with that.
Well, what is he right now? Would you say that he's face, or are they kind of doing that like?
They're like in between.
Yeah,
They're like the badasses of
yeah,
wrestling right now, and I enjoy that.
right. Yeah, and I wonder, I could see Dean being the guy that screws them over now, and that would be great.
Yeah,
Because
definitely.
I just can't take another Roman run where they're just like, oh, Roman just beat the two guys up single-handedly.
Roman Reigns got beat down by 50 people and he still won.
Yeah. So
What's next? Roman Reigns got tased and he
next?
still.
Roman Reigns got hit by a truck and the truck broke. Something like that. Yeah, I would just like to see something with Dean. So then you had, after that, you had Chad Gable with Bobby Roode versus, Rick Rude, huh? versus Connor with Victor.
Ascension.
Yeah, I saw the Ascension before, and I just remember them being like these brute guys. Like they just, they look huge.
They really became a joke.
A joke.
Definitely, but they were back in NXT.
Can you give a little history? Because
they were great. They were feared. Like they were like.
So then, what happened? Do you think when they got crossed over to the WWE,
when they moved up to the main roster, I guess they just kind of fell off, and that happened. You can see that happening with a lot of people.
Mm-hmm. And Connor just destroyed Chad.
I mean, it happened with Chad Gable and Jason Jordan when they came up as American Alpha. They dropped off a lot.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm glad to see the Ascension finally getting a win because they are a good team.
Yeah.
A lot of good teams that don't get enough credit.
And that's what I said before is that there's just so many championships to go around. And that's just the struggle with a program. And even making Raw a little longer, it's just, you can only do so much. You can only push so much.
Definitely.
And people have to, and the people that get pushed aren't always necessarily the better people. Sometimes it seems like luck too.
Yeah.
It
is what it is.
It is what it is. And then after that, you had Triple H, kind of like leaving with Stephanie. He's like leaving the arena, and then he gets stopped by, was it Charlie or some interviewer in the back, and she's like, "Before you go, you have any, talk about the Undertaker match kind of thing, the Superstar Showdown."
Super Showdown place.
Yeah, Super Showdown.
Is that the one in Australia?
Yeah, October 5th, I think.
Oh, yeah.
And this is kind of following up the one, like in the past, they have done wrestling pay-per-views in other countries. Like
there's a whole tour for Europe and everything.
So it's nothing new for them to go to other countries and kind of build up that market. But this one and the one in Saudi Arabia, they seem a little different, don't they?
Yeah, they're seeing like
everything down to the production even. Like the camera work.
They're putting a lot more into this than what they did before.
But what I'm saying is that it almost seems like a different crew that's producing the show. Like the camera angles seem different. Like the program just seems different. So I don't know if that's something to build with Australia or what. But like, what do you think about these? Because like, for example, the Saudi Arabia one, they had a whole Royal Rumble that was like
crazy.
Off the books.
Plus, it was like 20 more people. Wasn't it like 50 people?
Yeah, and the thing about it, like, it was very entertaining, but it almost just seemed like when I was watching it, this is cool, but it doesn't matter.
Yeah, like I felt like they built it up so big, but it's not, at the end of the day, it's not going to change anything.
It's almost like doing like a Super Bowl again in another country just to build it up, But the winner just like gets
it seems like it doesn't matter over there.
Yeah, and I did enjoy all the wrestling, but it just seemed like they're doing this to build a market, and these wins don't really like matter. But now, aren't they doing a championship match at this Super Showdown?
I think they have.
I think
they have. Yeah, they have Brock Lesnar versus Braun Strowman
Right.
versus Roman Reigns.
Yeah, so potentially, like, let's say the title changed hands, like that would obviously matter, but I don't see that happening.
But like, I don't see it building up like stories.
But what do you think about this? Triple H, Undertaker.
One last time.
Yeah, like the old announcer from the old one last time. Yeah.
I mean, I loved their match back in WrestleMania 29, was it? Or
who wouldn't?
29?
Undertaker.
No, it was 28.
Yeah, I mean,
that match was a classic.
Triple H is he's still wrestling pretty much just as well.
You can say what you
ever.
want about Triple H, but I can
he's really fit still. He's still
but like when it comes down to like just in general, Triple H, like when you ask who's the greatest, most people say The Rock, Austin, Hulk Hogan, but like Triple H deserves to be up there as one of the best performers of all time.
because he really sold the bad guy.
Oh yeah, he was a perfect bad guy.
You know, you had moments where Steve Austin and The Rock did sort of bad things, but they were not face or heel. They were just
They were just
face
too
straight up.
popular to be booed.
Right,
Like,
they
how
could do
wanted.
whatever they want. Whereas Triple H, he maintained that cerebral assassin.
Oh yeah, like he makes you hate him perfectly, and
I
that's
remember
what I love about Triple H.
Eric Bischoff days of Raw, when he would just like, the show would open with him and he would just carry a chair into the middle of the ring and he would just talk for 15 or 20 minutes. And I'm like, oh my gosh, come on.
He's great at building heat.
Yeah, he could build heat, and then him versus Shawn. But yeah, I think this is going to be a neat thing to watch. I know with Saudi Arabia one, it was the pay-per-view aired at like 12 o'clock here, which was kind of weird to watch a pay-per-view
at
at that
12.
time. I don't know what time the Australia one is going to be here.
I think it's gonna be early
Yeah,
because it's like 12 hours ahead,
right.
something like that.
Yeah, so that's kind of interesting. That made the pay-per-view kind of fun. Like,
Oh, yeah.
just that
It was
alone
different.
is neat. Because I happened to be off that day, and it was just cool to watch a pay-per-view that early.
But back to the match, I think it's gonna be pretty good.
Pretty good. Yeah,
I mean, Undertaker I'm a little concerned because he is
I get nervous every time I watch that dude wrestle. And
ever since WrestleMania 30 and he got concussions from the F5, I was scared.
that
for
was a
Undertaker.
sad match.
Like, don't get me wrong, Undertaker's one of my favorites, but
Yeah, it's like this old dude who thinks he's still tough. No offense to Undertaker, because he definitely is. But like, I'm just thinking, like, with him versus Brock, it was like, you know, he's an old guy and he's got arthritis and he like challenges like this,
they showed the dead man that he was real, like he was alive.
yeah, nearly dead man. But yeah, just watching this young guy beat him up.
I think he needs to go out with just one more big match at WrestleMania. Just go out.
I don't know. I mean, I think this is a neat way to kind of let him go, but I don't think it's going to be his last match.
Definitely not.
Probably the last time with Triple H, though.
Hopefully it doesn't end up like Ric Flair.
Bah! Bah!
70 years old, still wrestling.
Yeah. So Triple H was on his way out with Stephanie, and then Stephanie was like, "Come on, Triple H, you don't have to talk about this." But he's like, "No, I'll say." You know, he does his evil thing. But I think that's going to be a good match, and I look forward to that. I think Triple H just really makes people look good in the ring.
Definitely.
Whereas Brock, he kind of,
Does his own thing.
you have to be you have to be able to be thrown around a lot,
Yeah.
to make it look good. But Undertaker, you know, he's just a little older, so it just looks like a brutal match with him. So.
But what I like about Triple H is he ain't afraid of putting over new talent now. Like he's
Oh yeah, I mean that's what that's the most respectful thing you can do, right? But,
yeah, like once you get to that age, like you need to just start putting people over and build up the new generation. Triple H realizes that now.
and he comes back regularly. Like he makes appearances, obviously, as like a, you know, business guy. But
Yeah, but when he comes back as a performer, a wrestler,
he makes it look good.
definitely.
Yeah. And then after that,
The Revival versus Dolph Ziggler and Drew McIntyre. No,
There's a match for you.
I love The Revival. I cannot stress this enough. Like their match against Tommaso Ciampa and Johnny Gargano back in NXT for the tag team titles was one
Yeah.
of the greatest tag team matches. If you've not seen that match, watch it. Because it was so perfect. Like this, oh my.
Yeah, I just remember watching that match because I don't have too much experience with them, but they were just, you know, when people are like, they're in a tag match, but they're not really a tag team. They're just individual wrestlers.
Yeah.
Not the Revival.
No, they work perfectly. They're cohesive.
A cohesive unit.
Cohesive unit.
Yeah. So I just remember thinking that. And I really love when a wrestler is injured, right? I don't love that, but I love when their opponent can exploit that. Like, okay, you hurt your your elbow, and then they're working that elbow the whole
It
match.
makes it feel like what they did before is it wasn't for nothing. Like it all builds around it.
That's
and I
such a
like
big
that.
part of storytelling, and I think a lot of people miss out on that. But I think Dolph was dealing with an injury, or he was just banged up from Hell in a Cell, and they were just kind of working him, and the commentators were mentioning that. So I think that's such a huge part of storytelling. Or like, you know, when someone like they take a bunch of headshots, but then they're just like fine, like
The
they
next
don't.
night.
Yeah, or
Yeah.
even in the match, like you're getting you're getting submission moves done to you, so your arm should be hurting. But then
Yeah.
it's just like, what?
Like, oh,
Tank? Sir Tank's a lot.
someone breaks. Oh, his arm's nearly broken, but he lifts him up for a choke slam. Oh,
And in that match, like, they were chanting, like, "This is awesome" chants, so you know
I
that's
love
like
that
the...
chant.
Well, you got to earn that one for sure. And
yeah,
that was probably the first time that happened that night, so...
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I just thought of something, though. With the Connor's Cure, when they were getting those championships, they were saying, "You deserve it" for
oh,
this kid.
that's perfect.
That was cool.
That's perfect.
But yeah, similar, like, "This is awesome" chants. They were getting those, and that, you know, like when a match is just, they're just reversing. You don't know what's gonna happen. I love that's when the "This is awesome" chants start, and
Oh, yeah.
like that tense, that anxiety you get. That's like,
Yeah, like you're saying, nah, they ain't gonna win. Wait, they actually might win.
wait, they might. Yeah, so I think that's what was happening near the end there.
Oh, that's great. Great match. All in general, great match.
And Drew, he did that suplex, almost like like when you pick someone up from the mat
Yeah.
into a suplex.
That's like
yeah.
some Cesaro stuff.
Yeah,
right
I was gonna
there.
say that Cesaro was like the master of that. He just killed it with that. So when Drew did that, I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, Drew McIntyre. He does not get enough credit.
Yeah.
He is a great.
When people are powerhouses
person.
like that, or you're really athletic, you
I
just
mean, he's a giant too. When you think about it, he's like
Yeah.
6'5", 6'4", somewhere around there.
right. And just like Braun, where you have these huge dudes who can still like move.
That's great.
Yeah, that was just a good match. That was one of that might have been the best match for me.
Oh yeah,
That night.
definitely great match.
But you know, Ziggler got it in the end
With
there.
the zigzag.
Yeah, but with one of those matches, you're fine with that.
Oh yeah, it is a great match for Raw.
David,
Yep.
are you ready to walk with Elias?
I'm always ready to walk with Mr. Elias.
What do you think about him?
He is great. I love Elias.
I love. That's gonna be your catchphrase.
I love.
Get your
Elias.
T-shirt with your face. I love it.
Elias.
Yeah, you always had like these superstars who would incorporate music, but I think he's taken it there. Like Honky Tonk Man. Remember when we saw him?
Yeah.
He smashes the. Yeah, but
He-
Elias, he's got the album that came out.
Yeah, he's a really really entertaining person to watch. Like everything he does when he was getting interrupted and wherever what have you, that was so entertaining. I loved it.
And he's got, he's very quotable. Mm-hmm. And you get the whole audience saying his
Funny
quotes.
person,
Yeah,
just changing the lyrics of the songs.
yeah, that's cool.
That's great.
Got his Fender guitar.
How did I know you were gonna bring that up?
Fender. But you had the Kevin Owens show.
Kevin Owens, another person.
He's got his classic little Raw sign,
Raw is KO.
Yeah, and he's one of those guys that you can tell really loves the business. Like he loves
yeah.
wrestling.
I just watching him back, like being a fan of him from seeing him in NXT and figure out who he was.
And he's nasty.
Oh yeah, going back to watching his independent stuff like Ring of Honor, great.
Yeah,
Great stuff.
Yeah, he's someone you can go back on, and I think there's always room for one of those like talk show kind of things.
Oh, yeah.
On Raw. It's just part of their culture.
And you
their
can
history.
tell that the management backstage really loves him because they did give him a run as the Universal Champion. Like they believe in him.
Right.
That's what when they believe in something, I believe in something. Like you can really get behind it.
Yeah. And so they had Kevin Owens show and Leo Rush. This is my first time seeing him.
I'm actually not
Yeah.
too familiar with Leo Rush.
Yeah, I don't know about his history, but he's apparently pretty young.
Oh yeah,
He's on 205 Live, right?
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah, he's really. So I think they showed a clip of him earlier or maybe just before this bit with the Kevin Owens and Elias, but they showed him like it was probably the week before where he's like dipping and diving and doing all these flip maneuvers.
Yeah,
reminds me of my
he is
childhood.
really good.
Yeah, he's athletic and like, how do you think he pairs with Bobby?
I think it works pretty well. Like when you have like a very strong guy and
Yeah.
a really fast, flippy guy,
Right.
it works good.
And I don't really have any thoughts on how Bobby is on the mic. Like, I never really remember him being like really good on the mic, and I never remember him being really bad. He just kind of was.
When he was in TNA, he was really, really good.
Yeah.
Like he really came into his own. Like he
Yeah.
really proved he can hold his own there.
like
So-
physically, Bobby has always been one of my
yeah.
favorites. He's just
He is so fucking
gorgeous. Yeah, he's just quick, strong.
gorgeous.
Yeah, he gorgeous. Yeah,
Gorgeous.
he's cool. And I think with Leo, I need to see more of Leo to really make an official comment about that. But just generally speaking, I could see something happening there between those two. Like I think they're a pretty good pair. Leo's kind of like the little, to be in a nice way, like the little weasel guy who leads you out, and
Yeah.
and he's like the classic hype man, like he's doing all these rhymes and whatnot.
Yeah, boy.
And then Bobby comes out and he's just ready to smash.
just drops everyone in his path.
Yeah, I think they're a good pair. But then that leads into Lashley versus Elias. Mm-hmm. And I noticed that Lashley was in his hometown. So
Oh yeah, I believe he's from Colorado Springs.
yeah, so you had that pop. Like right when Leo came out and started hyping him up, like they were just, you could feel the energy in the air. They love Lashley. But no surprise, Elias was like holding his own with Lashley. But I noticed that Bobby got his mouth busted open. Was that from do you remember what Elias did there? I just remember seeing that Bobby was bleeding, like he got hit in the mouth.
Maybe a knee or something.
Yeah, it was something like that, and he was just bleeding. And when you see that, you're just like, "Eee." Like when Cesaro got his teeth knocked out.
Oh,
That was brutal.
When Jeff Hardy got his knocked out. Oh man.
Happens to the best of them. But Elias pretty much controlled that match. Mm-hmm. Maybe it was when he caught him with the knee in midair. He hit him in the mouth or something. Mm-hmm. But then you got the classic disqualification, which you just know is going to happen.
Yeah.
Because
Kevin Owens.
remember Bobby was outside of the ring, and then Kevin just kind of runs around, and I didn't know if he was going to go for Leo or not, but he just kind of ran around the corner and just immediately like ran. It almost seemed like an accident, like, oh, I'm not doing anything.
Oh, jeez.
Jeez. But he need him.
Jeez.
But he need him, and then it was just the match was over. Mm-hmm. And there's a time and a place for DQs, but I'm always a little salty when that happens.
Yeah, I kind of feel, especially in the main event of a pay-per-view, I feel cheated.
Oh yeah, I feel cheated. I'm cheated.
Like at I don't want to mention any pay-per-views, but Hell in a Cell where both men were knocked out by one F5, but I'm not.
Yeah, and Hell in a
that.
Cell is supposed to be like the end of it, like 2 men in a cell,
Braun Strowman, Roman Reigns.
nowhere to go.
Oh
Nowhere to
boy,
hide.
there's Brock Lesnar.
It's like the old SmackDown, like Backlash ones, like Backlash, Hell in a Cell, 2 men enter, 1 man leaves. That's it.
WWE Day of Reckoning 2.
Day of Reckoning 2. Play as Randy Orton. Yeah, that dude just did all the all the announcements. But it was just that dude.
Like even
Day
now,
of
you,
Reckoning 2.
you think about him, like he's always in every single video.
Yeah,
Every game.
special thanks to.
Rated now.
What was the band that did like all of the music at one point for every single pay-per-view? I forget the name of the band. Gosh, it was like
There's a couple.
I want to say Smash Mouth, but it wasn't Smash Mouth. It was like, gosh, I forget their name. But he would always say that too. Like, yeah, music brought to you by. I forget. If someone knows the band that used to do all of the commentary, or any bands that you remember doing the music for pay-per-views,
Skillet was one of them.
yeah, put a
I
comment
enjoyed Skillet.
beneath the audio here, and just and tell us what the band was, because I forget what it was, but there was one that just kept reappearing.
Yeah, it's like every other day.
Yeah, it's like
We'd
Backlash.
like to give a thanks to the theme song for
Yeah, right.
Backlash.
Backlash. Yeah.
It's called
And it was always like this, like
God Smash Down.
God, yeah,
God Smash.
It was that. That was it. God Smash. Yeah, or something like that. Yeah, I said Smash Mouth. Yeah,
Somebody
and once told me the word. Yeah, right. Thanks to God Smash. Shout out to God Smash. Okay, yeah. So after Kevin Owens show, Bobby Lashley, Elias, we had another really good, entertaining match. Nia Jax versus Alicia Fox. Mm-hmm. Any thoughts on that? On Nia?
Nia is a powerhouse.
Right.
I feel like she plays into that perfectly.
Have Nia and Natalya had a match?
I can't say for sure.
Yeah, if you know, tell us. But yeah, I would like to see that. Nia versus Natalya, but Alicia, she's just a solid player. She's been around for a long time, but she's a good character too. Like she's just crazy, and she sells that pretty well. Mm-hmm. But she obviously Alicia she doesn't have the power over Nia. Clearly,
Definitely.
she had to use speed.
Oh yeah, Alicia Fox is a very flexible person.
Right? Yeah, she can take a beating, but I love a good beating. But Nia was just throwing her around the ring.
Definitely. Powerhouse Nia Jax.
Yeah, but also remember Ember Moon came out with Nia,
Oh
right?
yeah. Friends there.
Yeah, Mickey James and Alexa Bliss were there.
I love Alexa Bliss.
Jeez, can you get any creepier? Special thanks to Smash, God Smash.
God Smasher giving us Alexa Bliss's theme song.
Maybe, I don't know.
No.
I can't speak to that. Who knows what God Smash is doing? They're sweet though. That's like when Creed was big.
With arms wide open.
Yeah. But that was a quick match. I remember being very quick. Nia just dominated, and there was a lot of activity outside of the ring, but Nia won quickly with that one. Yeah, that was quick. I feel like once the Kevin Owens show thing, the show just rolled. Like it just took a quick pace and it was just quick. So then we get to the main event.
Shield versus
who
Constable
is it?
Baron
Who is it?
Corbin
Right.
and drumroll please. The authors of pain.
AOP. I know you couldn't really do a great drum roll there. What's up with
I don't want to talk about it.
Authors of Pain? What do you think of them?
They are great. They are strong people, and Razor and I forget the other one's name, Rajar or something like that. They're great, very great.
Yeah, they're solid.
I believe they're monsters. I mean, look at them, they're huge.
But you had the element of Dolph and Drew, and was Braun there too? They were sitting out on the ramp. They were like at the top of the ramp, and there was like that distraction element. I think Braun was there. I'm not 100% sure, but I'm almost certain he was. And they were kind of up at the top, like looking down on the match. And obviously that adds an element, right? Like the Shield has to be on
always
guard,
watching their back and
looking over their shoulders.
It'll lead to Constable Baron Corbin and the Authors of Pain taking over.
And you had Dean and Corbin starting the match, and I'm really liking what's happening with Dean.
Dean's definitely something big is coming up. I can tell.
Yeah, and then Razor's is huge.
Oh, both of them are
huge. And
huge.
So you had that classic moment where him and the big dog Roman are like standing off, and they're just gonna battle it out. And Roman took the win.
Yeah, with the spear.
Yeah,
Figure most of the stuff that Roman Reigns does ends with a spear.
right. Spearing him through the barricade. Oh my god. Yeah.
Roman Reigns not even a match, and he's still spearing him through the barricade.
So what do you think about that match, though? Like, this is the first time that the Shield is back in action in, a year?
Yeah, I think...
Was it worth the wait?
Oh, yeah, definitely. I always like the Shield. I can say I don't like Roman Reigns by himself, but I do like the Shield.
Yeah. And like I said, I think that this is really fun. Like, it makes Roman look better. I think he really shines in the Shield format.
Definitely.
Seth, like I said, for me, he's fine either way, Shield or Solo. I like him. I like the guy.
Definitely.
But Dean, this is like
I can tell he's coming up. Something big's coming up.
Yeah, he's like holding in his emotions. I think when you're trying to be a sane asylum, psycho kind of guy, you can't really talk much.
Yeah.
And he couldn't do that on his own. But now that he's back with the Shield, like he's got the beard, he's not shaven.
Great beard.
Great
beard.
In this format, I really hope that he gets a championship out of this.
I hope so too, because Dean right now looks amazing. Like, he came back buff. He came back with a new look.
What happened to him, by the way?
He got injured.
On SmackDown.
I think it was it the pec or something, pectoral muscle? I think it happened.
He said a
to John
staph
Cena.
infection though.
No, it wasn't staph infection.
Someone said that.
It was
Renee
like
or someone.
It took him out for like a while.
Yeah, 9 months or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
But when he came back, I was like, "Whoa, new guy." But you can tell like this. That's the funny thing about this business is that like someone gets injured and they're out for a while, and you can really use that. Like you think like, oh, someone's injured, that's a bad thing, but the injury is bad, but you can really use that.
especially when they come back.
Reformat yourself.
When they come back and they get that big pop from the crowd, it's
That,
amazing.
and
you
you
get
can-
people talking.
You can reformat that, reformat yourself to be a heel turn or whatever. But you
Yeah.
can also like. I think this is really cool for his. Like he hasn't really said much since he came back. He just kind
I
of
like
goes
I like
in.
how they're doing that. I do.
Yeah, because you're just dying to know what
Like,
he has to say.
Yeah, like what he's doing with all this.
Yeah,
Like
'cause
what he's thinking about.
Even with Dolph, he didn't really say much at backstage.
really lunatic.
Yeah. So this is our first episode of Frog Splash Live. Let us know what you think, how we can make it better, what you liked. We're tapping out for now, WWE Universe, but thanks for listening, and remember, always go for gold. Always go for gold. Thanks, guys.